So for this video, it's sort of a follow-up to the previous one on Shar and Saloon. So for this video, instead, I'll be going over the Dawn War. Now, Dawn War was a very big thing in the history of the Forgotten Realms. It was a huge war between the gods and primordials and lasted from what the people of Aber called the Blue Age to the Shadow Epoch. So the Blue Age was a time when the entire world was one huge ocean. It was basically everything before negative 35,000 DR. The Shadow Epoch was right at the end of that, and after it ended, the Days of Thunder began. So Dawn War began when this very evil god Tharasdun, whose portfolio includes darkness, ruin, annihilation, madness, all those kinds of things, decided they wanted to rule over everything. Tharasdun had been corrupted by the Oberits, who were ancient eldritch demons that predate all mortal life and possibly even the gods. We may cover them in another video, but not yet. Tharasdun was instructed to place a shard of pure evil into the astral sea, which, the forces of the Oberits and Tharasdun could draw power from. But Tharasdun realized that was a terrible idea because the gods would turn on them before they would have the chance to actually gain the full power of the shard. So instead, Tharasdun threw it into the elemental chaos, which created the abyss. So that's where demons come from, or at least, the ones that didn't already exist. Tharasdun was eventually, defeated and imprisoned in the abyss, and the Oberits began following a Tenari, which was the current dominant kind of demon in the abyss. A lot of the ones like Baphomet, a lot of the demons that rule the abyss now are Tenari. And one that the Oberits began following was called Miska the Wolf Spider. Shar and Saloon both moved to defend the various planets of the realms from the primordials. Now, Shar didn't want all of the elemental chaos. She wanted the world, the universe, the cosmos just to be this quiet, dark nothingness. And Saloon didn't want everything that already existed to be destroyed, so they worked together. Other gods were born from the conflict or summoned from other universes to aid in the war. In one of the biggest battles of the Dawn War, the dragon god Io, who was the only dragon god at the time, arrogantly went alone to face a primordial called Erakus, the king of terror, who cleaved the dragon god in two with his axe. These two halves formed into Bahamut and Tiamat, who together managed to defeat the primordial before turning on each other. Tiamat eventually fled, and then the dragon gods began to help the other deities in the war, although avoiding each other, because, very famously, Bahamut and Tiamat absolutely hate each other. So the Blue Age ended during the war, when suddenly the sun was devoured by the primordial known as the Dendar, the Night Serpent, which froze the entire world into an ice age and started what we call the Shadow Epoch, because everything was dark. An Oberist, known as the Queen of Chaos, came to ally with Miska the Wolf Spider to destroy the gods together. It did seem like they would win, until the Wind Dukes of Akar shattered the armies of Chaos, and the Queen of Chaos retreated back into the abyss. The war finally ended when a primordial known as Uptau betrayed the other primordials to aid the gods, helping to imprison many of the primordials. In the aftermath, the sun was remade and the oceans thawed, bringing in the Days of Thunder. So that was my coverage of the Dawn War, continuing a series of history and lore of the Forgotten Realms. There are lots of little aspects and things mentioned in the Dawn War that I may cover more specifically, such as talking about Uptau and Chult, the Oberits, maybe go into a little bit more detail about the ages, or Tharasdun maybe. But for this video, I wanted to cover the Dawn War as a whole, so I didn't go into too much detail about the specifics. Leave those for another video. So yeah, stay tuned for next video, which will come next week. Thank you for watching.